You know, the situation is this, right? I just can't take when I owe in all you. Tell me who's the singer now and who's the band?
I've got a feeling, so appealing, don't let it die. I got the real thing, such a sweet thing, give it a try. Again, yeah. My love is the only thing I have to give. And I've been wanting to admit I wanna make love to you. If it's the last thing I do, I wanna make love to you.
Welcome to episode 149 of the Corey Shepherd podcast. For all who like to say that no music and thing, name of the singer, name of the band, name of the company who record this, you know. I just decided that let me deal with something we're owing. As I am here and I'm cooking up my food for the week, let me pay off some debts.
It's like a madness mixed with gladness I can't turn away. I won't stop trying, there's no use denying I need you today. My dreams are filled with fantasies of you and all the rude things that we do. I wanna make love to you. If it's the last thing I do, I wanna make love to you.
All you going, everybody good? I'm playing to talk about still. Because if Farley and them fellas acting up, Jack Warner, as predicted. As predicted, Jack Warner is back in the mix, back in the couture, as he like to say. But that coming Monday, right? So we'll go hear more about that next week. We'll cover what we could cover for now. The purpose of this episode really is to pay off some debts, right? I nearly call the name, and I ain't leaving all of it no name or song and thing again. Go and do all your research, right? Just find out who is who. Ask your grandparents, ask your mother and them, ask them from back in the day who was fetting. Ask them about how they know how you reach here, find out from them. One of the things that are going on is for some time now. I like to fulfill any request that people give me. I want to tell me what it is they like. We go find it and we go play it and we go talk about it. But I owing some people an episode about this man. And if you ain't know the voice, listen good. Listen lyrics, listen.
Lord, put a hand with my wife and just keep it, man.
I in a jam.
Oh, Lord, put a hand with my wife and just keep it, man. I in a jam. The woman have no time for all wrong love. Every day she buys herself a love. And when I ask you what you was doing, man is practicing. I don't mind she taking exercise. But what I do it otherwise. I ain't mind she feeling condition, but not this fun.
What you do?
You let them long, touch your toe, so put them low, turn around, spin around, lie down on the ground. I don't like it. Watch yourself while you keep it fit. in pain.
She in pain, she in pain, she in pain.
Oh, no, she in pain. You know she want to dance it again. Girl in pain.
She in pain, she in pain, she in pain.
Both of us just make this Savannah, but that calls for plenty stamina. And when you see me beat like you are see, the rhythm comes simultaneously. I didn't mind she taking exercise. She told her do it otherwise. I ain't mind she feeling condition, but not this funny position. When it's bend down, touch your toe, so go down low, turn round, spin around, then lie down on the ground.
I don't like it.
Watch yourself how you keep it fit. She tell me then, special days for men and women and little children.
Children, children, children.
She tell me then, special days for men and women and little children.
Children, children, children.
Men 80 does feel just like 20. All round the boy just watch your tummy. I done talk to my coach already. We sign you up immediately. I didn't mind she taking exercise. She coulda do it otherwise. I ain't mind she building condition, but not this funny position. With it bend down, touch your toe, move so, go down low, turn round, spin around, then lie down on the ground.
I don't like it.
Watch yourself or you keep it fit.
Keep it. Keep it. Keep it. Keep it.
Owen always some all-rounder in this episode. So we go deal with that today, right? That's some all-rounder classics, you know. And one of them is a performance from in the 10th. All-rounder is somebody you can listen to, you know. All-rounder is somebody you have to listen to and see. Because when he come out to perform, he put on a show. Some people might remember him because he had some hits from the later days, all around 2010 kind of timing. Them kind of time he had a few hits which we will play. But back in the day in the 10s, all around, there's somebody you're looking forward to seeing. I hear somebody say the other day, one of the problems with soca music is it only has superstars. It has no stars. They say a genre needs stars. It needs enough. You can't just build a genre and Burna Boy and Davido or whatever the next one name. You have to have enough. You have to have a few superstars who's the big boys in the mix. But you need enough people in the mix who just bubble in, who is stars, who come in with consistent hits every year that people are looking forward to seeing and hearing. And All Rounder was definitely one of them people. Star in the soca, you know what I mean? When he come on a stage, the tent is destroyed. So here what we go do in this episode, right? We're paying off debts. We're paying off everything that we owing. But we're covering everything that happened between the last episode and now. And whatever deal with that, when I come back, we go deal with that. Right? How that song fair, it's song reasonable. Because we owing. But in news between Trinidad and Tobago, it seems as though Trinidad and Tobago is still not settled. We're having some problems, right? So the latest news you hear now is that Rowley and Farley and them fellas can't get along. You know what I mean? I don't think them two had like one another in the beginning. I feel Rowlers was more comfortable when it was Duke, you know what I mean? A enemy, how you know how to fight already. But as we say, Farley come in as soon as he reach in and he started getting bad. But now I find that your boy Farlers on the back foot, man. Farlers on the back foot. Farlers say police, this is from Elizabeth Gonzalez in the Newsday. Police doing PNM's bid in investigating the THE. Just last week I was saying if I was in charge and I had the police force up to me, listen, people would be in trouble and I doing what I want. Yes, if I had full control over the police force. But it's in a striking statement, Chief Secretary Farley Augustine claims Tobago's key police officials are politically aligned with the PNM and are specifically intent on dismantling the current administration of the THA. During an emergency session at the Assembly on Wednesday morning, Augustine said, but when police officers go to work with the balize under their khaki suit, or when the laws and the mechanisms for choosing a leader for the TTPS forces prospective leaders to kiss the royal, or forces prospective leaders to kiss the royal behinds of the sitting prime minister. I like this fight. Simply non-illegal concepts will become criminalized for the sole purpose of distressing those who have a different political. Wow. Farley, talk plain English, man. Let people like, you know what I mean? Farley, well, listen. One of the things I always hear saying is that we need more younger, vibrant politicians and things. And maybe I'm wrong about that. You know, they say age is just a number because Farley are all the youth on his side, but he's singing just like the rest of them. Because I want to know if Balize under the khaki suit is what causes your wife to be driving without a license, a valid license. Your wife license expire. And when your wife license expire, you start that prosecution talk from then. It is prosecution or persecution or both. He started from back then to say that Rowlers sent police from Trinidad to come to mix with Tobago affairs. It's our laws. It's our laws. It's simple. I don't understand why. What is this about politicians? I can't say. But I don't know why she was driving without a license, you know, like any other man. I just want to play like I run in my house, but I didn't realize the license expired. She must hear him realize it. So we go pay the fine, we go do things, we sorry for doing wrong. I will talk to her, we will sort these things out. Like, how you guess above just saying, hey, these things has happened, hard luck. Because all of us drive without we license before. You know, these things happen. And also we take chances. Sometimes, you know, your license, you know, your insurance expire. But again, pay months in. That 2 weeks is all hell break loose. Whatever happen. So but politicians, and it's part of us as a society too, you know, we like to see politicians as different from being a normal man. So one of the first things we should do is start to remove this right honorable, whatever it is. But he accused the police of criminalizing all actions that support his party. Trinidad and Tobago, we are treading on very dangerous grounds. Oh, you like Trinidad? No, Trinidad and Tobago, okay. It is on the most undemocratic principles where government and the country cannot peacefully facilitate dissenting voices or points of view. He said democracy meant one should have a right even to be noisy in objection of the government of the day without fear of political prosecution. Madam Presiding Officer, there's a prosecution and there's persecution and there's prosecution. What is happening in Tobago at this very always persecution. He described the searches recently carried out at his home. The Deputy Chief Secretary. He described the searches recently carried out at his home, the home of Deputy Chief Secretary Faith Israel and former Chief Administrator, as lazy copy and paste and sloppy work done by the TTPS. So, if you didn't know, I mean, you should know this by now, but they went and they searched Farley Place, right? The police went in and they say, here, we're going on. What is the situation with you? We need to check out what it is you have here. Check out all the computers, whatever they might have. And they spent a long time being there. Everybody should have seen the little clip that went around viral clip with a man who was asking about why Farley reached late to the meeting, you know? And I guess that is what he was alluding to, the fact that police searched the place and he couldn't reach on time. So, I spoke about that at length, right? Where this idea of hiring people by THA and their real job is to do Facebook propaganda, right? Now, that's clearly unethical, right? I'm trying to figure out I'm not defending that action, right? But I'm trying to figure out, genuinely asking, like, what about that would be illegal? What about that you could get charged for? Because if I misuse of public funds or one of them kind of charges, because that would be hard to prove, you know. If I hire people to come and work by me, and I give them a job description, and I have their supervisor and the people managing them every day, which I'm sure Farley is not doing. They have supervisors and managers on a whole hierarchy within the THA. And let's assume the person doing nothing when the day come. So they come to work, they clock their car, they're on the job, and they ain't really producing anything that have to do with the job description. And then they get a normal peer review. What is called it again? Your performance appraisal that says, great work, blah, 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 blah. And I know what you're really doing is responding to Facebook thing on fake profiles, right? I just trying to figure out how police going to prove that. Like, what they're going to do. They're going to have something, because at that point, you will need a whistleblower within the organization to come out and say, well, hey, you see Corey Shepard, he's a man that do nothing when they come. You know, he's a man, he's just, he just collecting money under false pretense, right? Because I could basically go home and say that, yes, I work in the THA, but that does not prevent me from supporting the Farley Party. What's Farley Party name? FDP? That'll support me from, that'll prevent me or I'm not ruled out from supporting the FDP because I work in the THA. So I could say, listen, I on Facebook defending my party. I love the party. I'm a party card carrying person. And anything anybody say against them, I just get vexed and I just go and defend them. And sometimes I'd be right, sometimes I'd be wrong, but it's my right to go and post about whatever I want to post on my Facebook page. So I'm trying to figure out, like, if this raid or this searching of his premises is to find specific documents or emails or something that could confirm that I hired Jane Brown. And Jane Brown is measured by something else. So she's supposed to be a custodian in the place. So she's supposed to be measured by how the place clean, what it is thing, you rearrange this, you come to work 5 days a week and so on. That is what I have on paper. But I have a WhatsApp here saying that, hey, Jane, here what you going to do. Forget all that cleaning thing. The place clean enough already. We done buy about 5 Roomba. So you don't worry about cleaning. All you have to do is respond to Facebook comments. I would love to know if that is what they're looking for. And if that is what they plan to use to bring Farley down, because it sounds weak. And this is just my assumptions, right? I hope it is something more than that they're going for. That is a waste of time. Especially against the backdrop of the fact that the response from all the other parties was like, try not to get catch, try not to get recorded. Always do that too. But, I mean, the police had to do their work. I don't want to preempt or get too ahead of myself with what the police there to do. The police doing their job. I guess they're to search and so on. And let's see what they find. Let me ask you something. What all you feel they go find? Anybody expecting that something going to come out of these police raids and searches? I don't know. Rowley responds, of course, because he can't help himself. These fellas on the campaign trail too. So when I'm mic in front of them every night, and you know what I mean, every night when you're done talk, you have to sip something. I know easy thing to talk there all the time. So when you're done talk last night and you take 2 sips and you recover from it and you have to talk this morning again, man tongue is get loose. So Andrew really doesn't have a problem with not responding to things. He could pretty much ignore all this, but he is quoted as responding here. This is from Sean Douglas in Newsday. Says the Prime Minister has flatly denied allegations of any attempted interference in police work in Tobago, dismissing such talk as a fabrication for nefarious ends. All only from Tobago. There's not Tobagonians, just talk. Let's talk simple. Dr. Rowley in a simple press statement said on Monday. Sorry, why I say simple? Dr. Rowley in a press statement on Wednesday said that a special sitting on the Tobago House of Assembly earlier that day, Chief Secretary Farley Augustine made serious allegations against him, including playing into the Assembly's records a purportedly secret recording that included the PDP membership officer Akil Abdullah. Rowley denied the allegation of him being in contact with Abdullah and others toward the interfering and directing of police work. Let me firmly place on the record the following. With respect to Mr. Akil Abdullah, I do not know any person by that name. Only remember Abu Bakr say that? Abu Bakr say, I don't know no big Brent, I don't know no small Brent, I don't know no medium-sized Brent. This was only standing at deposition. You know. The coup coming up. Salute to all the coup stories and thing, right? We will miss that this year. I've never met with such a person. I've never spoken to him in any form or fashion. I've never communicated with him in any way. Boy, listen, Rowley a seasoned man. You know? There's no chance of Akil Abdullah standing up and talking to Rowley and say, well, here was this scene. You know what people here to talk through before it gets to Rowley? You see, additionally, I categorically deny that I know Inspector Weaver Ali. I do not know this officer. I have never met her. I have never spoken to her. To the best of my knowledge, I have never been in her presence. Rowley said he had never been in any meeting of any kind with her, alone or with others, as presented by Augustine. Further, I categorically deny that I was in a meeting with the persons named as described by the Chief Secretary, that is Weaver Ali, Attorney at Law Gilbert Peterson, and Ansel Dennis. I state without fear of contradiction that this purported meeting wherein I was supposedly directed by the Commissioner of Police to take action never occurred. As far as I'm concerned, it is pure fanciful fabrication by a person for their own nefarious purpose. This is the back and forth. This is not Awi Boy and them. Awi Boy, what going on with all Farley? In the Express saying, man offered money to destroy me. So that's where he's saying they have some whistleblower. And there's apparently a voice note going around with this thing. I ain't heard the voice note yet, but I hear rumors that they have a voice note. So send it to me if you have it. But if I put my hands on it, I'll be happy to face all the pre-action protocol letters associated with playing that. But I'm definitely playing that. I would love to hear what that song like if there's any of them talking. But Farley yesterday revealed a series of video recordings in which a man named Akil Abdullah confessed he was offered money to destroy him and other THA officials. Augustine said he secretly recorded Abdullah earlier this month during private meetings. Abdullah is the purported whistleblower in the audio tape. There's still more audio tape. Current audio tape probe currently underway. So all the time I say in here, I tell myself is what's in the meeting. And if I'm not mistaken, in Farley's statement, right, where the whole of the THA stand up behind him like gangsters saying that it was the tape and everything that had to be discussed in a strategy meeting, and that's why strategy meeting had to be closed and all these kind of things. Didn't he say it was Watson Duke who released the thing? I'm sure at the end, my memory is so good, but I'm sure at the end of that statement, he said that he know it is Watson Duke up to mischief doing this thing. But apparently, Watson Duke have an alter ego called Akil Abdullah. So in one of the recordings played at the THE assembly sitting, Abdullah said he was offered $270,000. Now I want to make this very clear, right? He said he was paid $10,000 and was also receiving an upfront payment of $60 to sign the statutory declaration, but never did. So I want to make this clear. If anybody offer me $270 right now for any information, if I have any secret for you, sorry to tell you. I'm sorry, the $270, everybody say, everybody have a price, and what price. People like these kind of scenarios, like if a man offer you this way, $270. That's pretty much the number. So offer me $270 and we in the game. We could work something out. I could get any kind of information you want. So Abdullah once served as the PDP's membership mobilization officer and delivering a statement during yesterday's special sitting of the THA to raise an urgent matter that cannot wait. Augustine claimed there was a plot by senior government and PNM officials involving police to remove him from office. As far as his secret recordings, Augustine admitted he secretly recorded the 2 meetings without Abdullah's knowledge, as he learned a hard lesson from having people, including high-ranking officials, misrepresent meetings with him. So Farley, right? Farley is openly saying that he recorded the man while he was meeting with the man for information. This is the same Farley who some weeks ago said that people shouldn't record other people without their consent and take and this and that, and strategy meetings must be closed and people is traitors and all these things. And this man is openly saying now, yeah, I talked to Abdullah and I record him. Tell us he, I record him and so Akil Abdullah is also appearing in the paper. See why I must just come here and play music. I just come here to plan to play all wrong there, and look at the amount of different kind of comments it have in this thing. This is in a short space of time between recording the last episode and this one. So the headline here, this is from Elizabeth Gonzalez, is man named in PNM or police conspiracy against THA. I will speak soon. And a big picture, Akil Abdullah. Should I use Akil Abdullah as the podcast artwork for this episode? Seeing that I out the country and think, well, you gotta look for me, So I had to come back super. I might want to do that. He said, I will make a statement, but not now. This was the response to Akil Abdullah, the man who was allegedly secretly recorded during a private meeting with Chief Secretary Farley Augustine, where he claimed that he, along with the Prime Minister, Tobago PNM Council leader Ansel Dennis, and senior police officers, were part of a conspiracy to disrupt the THA executive. Instead, Abdullah stated that he will address the issue in the near future. Rowley and Commissioner of Police Earl Harewood, Christopher, have since distanced themselves from the involvement in any plot or strategy to persecute, frustrate, and embarrass Augustine and his members through ongoing police investigation into the audio recording. Well, I expect Earl to say, Earl under pressure already. Earl can't issue way right now. Whatever the Prime Minister say, she's just saying, yes, boss. She's just going along with that at this point in time. The recording, which was under police investigation, included Augustine and another female member of the executive discussing a plan to use public funds for political mileage. That was the original recording, right? Farley admitted that he recorded the video secretly, saying it was just done to protect himself. If it's done to protect yourself, why don't just say, hey, here we're going on a recording this meeting? You know when you call certain places, right? Even the basic call center. When you call, they say, this call might be recorded for quality control purposes. Why didn't just say, you know, you see this meeting, I want to protect myself. I recently went through something, so look, I have a camera, so I have this, you're being recorded. But speaking to Newsday on Wednesday morning, he basically saying that he will make a statement. The time is not there yet. Asked how he felt about the situation. He said, I can't tell you that over the phone. I don't want to prejudice the statement that I will make beforehand. So Abdullah basically saying, hold tight. He's coming. He's going to make a statement. So there's no end to the amount of issues that come out And you tend to find that in Trinidad, right? Once you see an election coming up, like bet your bottom dollar, all the word I want to use I wouldn't use, you know what I mean? But it's starting, it coming, regardless of what you want to say, it always on the way. And the closer to election it is the more stories you will get like this. And the reality is that out of those stories will come absolutely nothing. All of these stories, nothing is going to come out of any of them. I accuse you of this, I hire people to think Facebook, I hire the police commissioner to do, nothing going to come out of this. This reminds me of how it was bubbling up the other day that this some time ago where Gary Griffith say the prime minister went to the president with a list and they had a not accreditation council. What's the people name again? Who's supposed to select the commissioner, and then the police she gave him a list and Gary was on the top, and then he sent back the list until she will take off Gary and nothing. There was another one where it was bubbling up like this that say FUL Gary was running that thing and getting all his friend and them dealer license and nothing is coming out of any of these things. You know what I mean? I was watching something this week before I get back to All Wrong, right? Where the procurement legislation is passed, and one of the issues with this is with all the protests and stuff that was going on is basically saying that, as the column say, it's take about 25 years to buy a bottle of water to put in the parliament. So the water they have now was from since in the 80s. That is when they ordered that from SM Jalil since back then. So they basically increasing some limits, making it easier to make decisions for the government and what needs to be purchased. And what they're being accused of is, they say the CARICOM summit or CHOGM the other day was the financing for it or the payments for it was rushed through a system, and that is what he needs to be able to do more of. But in government, as with law in this country, no matter how you try to remove bureaucracy from it, it's my belief that bureaucracy, well entrenched in systems that we have, because nobody don't want to. I don't believe that the opposition really want Rowley and them to make a jail. I don't believe Rowley and them really want the opposition. All we trying to do is destroy you to the point where you can really beat we, and we could make decisions about you. The opposition not leaving politics; they staying in politics forever and ever until death do us part. So it's like I tell always, wrestling. You know, them fellas come to wrestle one another. It's good actors, but I really come here to play music. You know? And talking about good actors, this is an actor that I want to get a slice of. This is a performance from All Rounder, right? It's a Calypso 10 type setting, but I believe this performance was in New York. And the name of this song is Let Me Tell You Something, right? So if you're accustomed listening to this on the podcast apps, you know how long I say that? You could find this podcast on any one of the things where you listen to podcasts, right? Everywhere you listen to your favorite podcast, I there every week, despite popular belief. And for those who listen only, right? I want you to take a little minute and go to YouTube. Just watch the timestamp on where you're listening, and then go to this on YouTube where you will see the actual video. I'll put the video into the thing. Salute to GBTV, right? As I say, they have some sources for information for this podcast. You see Caribbean Insights, When Steel Talks, GBTV, all these places. Salute to all of them for compiling a ton of information about our history and our culture, right? But this performance coming from New York is typical of a 10th performance for All Around. The name of the song, Let Me Tell You Something.
Hey, where's that? Where's that?
And that is Nap Hepburn introducing him, right?
Huh? All right. I want you to put your hands together like clap, clap, clap. And bring All Rounder on stage. The Lord All Rounder. Bring him out with a round of applause. Thank you.
I knock down from the
country.
Look what that tongue boy
Doing
passing through this van. He ball out, hey yo,
come here.
I can't forget that day. What that man do me down in the subway. Look what he do me, and then
All wrong to say what he do ya.
and then
Tell them people what he do ya.
and then
Good
oh
Lord,
Lord, what he do
do
me,
ya.
and then my Lord, believe me for true, he did me the same thing from a long do. He tell me he name Big Ben. He asked me if I have boyfriend. That was the biggest problem. I tell him I go tell them Peter, Patrick and Lashley, them fellas waiting for me. He start to make row, telling me you can't replace so right now. Look what he do me, and then these are the things that he do me, and then I want to say what he do me, and then all that he do me, and then my Lord, believe me for true, he did me the same thing Bill Trotman do.
And of course, you know your daughter right is singing backup, right?
I tell him I from Sobo. He asked me Galloway, name so. There's a place down in Lavray. If you want me, come down there. My name is Ivy. More man, ask for me by the junction. You have no headache. Ask for Ivy. More man in the bitch. Look what he do me, and then I want to say what he do me, and then all of the things that he do me, and then I want to say what he do me, and then my Lord, believe me for true, he did me the same thing that Pepper Let me tell all you something. Believe that I never on him. Now he giving me old dog. He have an ex-girl down here in New York. But I will beat you so bad when you come down train. Negado, I will have you in pain because I'm going back and with Gypsy again.
You know, the days when places mash up and things, them days gone, boy. People don't enjoy themselves like this again. It's a different kind of enjoyment now.
But what's wrong with you, boy? What's wrong with you?
He want to make it a must. Gypsy put him at Montague. He putting on his clothes. to come out here and give me. I go get next man. All your in confusion. He doing it for spite. He say I went out someplace with you last night.
Now all round I like you. Crazy, what the hell you saying about me? You're looking to create problem like you feel as you and nap. And them, you better stop your stupidness because me in them business. All round I like you mad. Your face are too much bed, your breast too flat, your foot too hard.
And then, all you watch what you do me, and then I said you watch what they do me, and then ba-ba-da-ba-dam, ba-dam, ba-dam, ba-dam. Listen, salute to the man daughters too. The man daughters is some of the greatest people in the history of backup singers. I don't know what is the key that is be singing in, but the key bill for he make his own key, and that is what it is they come with. So let me get back to some news. I have plenty all wrong to play, you know, and I win otherwise too. I intend to pay them debts. Imagine my surprise when I pick up the Express and I see Darryl Smith to represent TNT in the US and Canada. Isn't that nice of it? There's always room for a comeback. Always room for a comeback story, you know what I mean? So from Joel Julian in the Express, former Sport Minister Darryl Smith, who Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowlers said he fired in 2018 for interfering improperly with public service. Is that what he was interfering with? I seem to remember him interfering otherwise, but anyway, interfering improperly with the public service. Was yesterday appointed as a commercial officer for the Trade Ministry. I don't know what that means, so let me read further. Smith will be based in the United States with responsibility also for Canada, the Trade Ministry said yesterday. Smith yesterday met with his former cabinet colleague, Trade Minister Paula Gopi-Skoon, as he and 4 other commercial officers and commercial attaches were appointed to represent Trinidad and Tobago in the international trade and investment arena. Their main responsibilities will be to develop overseas markets and boost exports to key strategic trading partners. A release from the Trade Ministry said yesterday. Apart from Smith, the commercial officers are Vincent Ramlochan, who will be based in Panama, Adana Taylor. That name sounding familiar. In the United Kingdom, with responsibility for Europe. That's looking like 3 people. I thought it was 4. During a public meeting in July 2020, Rowley disclosed the reason he fired Smith from the cabinet in April 2018. Rowley said the dismissal had nothing to do with sexual harassment. Okay. But because Smith interfered... That's a good word. Smith interfered with the proper process of the public service. Maybe the process was making, you know what I mean, woman uncomfortable. You know, that might be stopping the process, resulting in a financial cost to taxpayers. At the time of his dismissal, there were reports against Smith of sexual misconduct in office and a subsequent payment of $15,000 made to the alleged victim, Carrie-Ann Morrow, together with a non-disclosure agreement. So, you remember I was telling you about the figure? Like, what figure would be the figure when people ask you these things? Would you do this for... I could tell you 15,000 is not the figure. Oh, the figure is 150. For 150, I could do some things. Another 150. 150 could actually help me pay off some debts too. 150 ain't bad. I thought it was 15,000. So the Darryl Smith is gone. Darryl Smith is back in the... Could you call this government? That would be unfair to call this government. He back in the mix. Let me just say he back in the mix for now, right? The great Darryl Smith is back among us. And, you know, this reminds me a little bit of... We've seen this before, right? Where somebody get fired for some reason. Me and them are no more friends. We write them off. We come publicly and say that they do wrong and we distancing ourselves from them. And then you hear they start to get a little appointment here and there. I seem to remember a Terence Baptiste Cornelis appointment to somewhere far in Europe or something like that. And there's a way, even what's my girl name again? Marlene McDonald, who was kind of brought back in a kind of way. I mean, you couldn't bring Marlene and put her as no trade attaché. What is this commercial officer? Marlene wasn't taking that work. But every attempt to bring Marlene back in, I think she had to just accept that her political career was over. But not Darryl Smith, not the great Darryl. In The Guardian, Headline is Smith is thankful for the new role. Newly appointed commercial officer for the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Darryl Smith, is thankful for the opportunity to once again serve his country. I am very blessed, thankful to the ministry for giving me the opportunity. It was a rigorous interview process. I'm sure a couple interviews, that's a lot. A couple is a lot. Well, I think the ministry has put a good team together. I too. Young, bright people who have a lot of experience in trade. Plenty of experience in trade, man. 150. If Darryl paid 150,000 for what he is alleged to have paid 150,000 for, I don't think he's so good at trade. I think these are things that people pay a couple $100. Anyway, and I'm just up to the challenge always, as Smith and the Trade Investment Convention Center, the Center of Excellence, Mokoya said Friday. He, however, downplayed the prospect of a role to the limelight. Smith had previously served as Minister of Sport from September 2015 to April 2018. That was long. And had been Member of Parliament for Diego Martin Central from 15 to 20. He was terminated from Cabinet in 18. He's quoted as saying, I don't think the position is one for the limelight. I think it is there to provide any background support to all in the business sector in Trinidad and Tobago that is looking to export. I know it's a big aspect of the part of the mandate from the government for the Vision 2030. There's a Vision 2030. And also the recovery process from COVID-19. He continued, I'm just doing my part in the background to support these manufacturers and people from outside in the North America, USA, and Canada to invest. Darryl, you ain't sounding like you would have passed that interview. I'm being honest with you. I want to be real. I find it sounding like if just that statement alone tells me I ain't so sure he was going to pass. Smith confirmed he was under contract for 2 years. He explained that he was preparing for a few export shows and missions in the near future with a focus on food and beverage trade mission in September. Good luck to Darryl Smith. I hope the brother do well. I feel it's just a little avenue to bring him back into likability again and the politics thing, because the way this local government election going down to a fight here and the popularity of the ruling party, you might need to get everybody who have a little say and influence back in the mix by 2025 when you're having general elections. So this might just be Darryl Smith's way of, or the PNM's way of getting Darryl Smith back in the news, back to some FaceTime, back working, back getting in the good graces of people and so on. So best wishes to him. I hope it work out well. I just wonder how men is get these kind of sweet work, you know. This is real sweet work. This smells like a sweet work. Because if you're living over there and you're responsible for US and Canada, you getting paid in US, you're getting stationed in the US. It sounds like, so if he had to go there and work, like there's a diplomat kind of situation this man get put in, or he here working and doing this from home. But let's wait and see. Our next all-rounder to play that have absolutely nothing to do with Darryl Smith and any interfering. Please forgive her.
All how I turn and yearn and moan and moan, you want to touch me, kankala. And when I asked him why, Jimmy started to cry, 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 cry.
I wonder if people know who's Jimmy Swaggart. People know Jimmy Swaggart.
just pass me footstool. You never touch me conquer Lord. You only watch me conquer Lord. Begging the Lord, please forgive us. All our turn and yearn and moon and good was touch me conquer Lord. And when I ask him why, Jimmy started to cry, 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 cry.
And when I asked him why, Jimmy started to cry, 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 cry. Do you know who's Jimmy Swaggart? Just for those of you who might not know, right? Jimmy Swaggart was an evangelical priest, I think a Pentecostal priest. Them days used to have plenty crusade coming to Trinidad, right? If you remember them days where they used to set up in King George, in the Velodrome in Arima. It's a big tent basically with a church, a roving church. That used to be a popular thing back in the day. Now that I'm playing this song, I realize that's not such a big thing anymore. The internet take with that, or they're only taking it in on Zoom. But long before there was a Creflo Dollar and what's my next one name? What's my next partner name in Texas? What the big church? Long before they had these priests who was making this sort of money. They said the value of Jimmy Swaggart Church in the 80s was $150-something million. A roving church or crusade or whatsoever you want to call it. And what happened to Jimmy Swaggart? Jimmy Swaggart was a loved man in Trinidad and Tobago. Jimmy Swaggart was on TV all the time. People sitting down and watching Swaggart's sermon and whatsoever he used to do. People loved Jimmy Swaggart. And then, unfortunately, Jimmy Swaggart was brought down in a little bit of a prostitution ring. You see, in these days, where story just go viral, and from the time you hear accusation of a man, more and more people come out. That's what happened back in the times with Swaggart. Something come out with one person, and then more and more people say, yeah, I was with him too. He never touched my cankalang, it's all wrong now. So you say Jimmy Swaggart was an internationally known Pentecostal preacher ordained through the Assemblies of God when church officials received photographs from rival televangelists. The competition bring him down, you know. From rival televangelist Marvin Gorman, showing Swaggart entering and leaving a motel with a prostitute. After Swaggart made a vague confession to his congregation and begged for his forgiveness, the prostitute went public and described Swaggart's unconventional sexual taste. I wonder if unconventional in the 80s, that might be very conventional today, you know what I mean? So don't judge him too harsh, right? Despite this and later public debacle involving a prostitute, Swaggart continued to preach. So the reality is that, again, these fellows was multi-millionaires. I forget my partner who running the one in in Texas now. No, it's not just televangelists. It's mega churches. And Swaggart might be one of the founding members of this, you know what I mean? I seen Eddie Young. Texas mega churches pastor. I can't remember the man's name. For some, before the episode done, I remember it, but I seen the fellow name and can't remember. But it was a whole lot of them back in that day with the televangelists and the roving with the tent now. I losing words. I'm tired. I losing words. But the one who was a big scene here too was Benny Hinn. I don't know if people remember Benny Hinn. Benny Hinn had come here. And that was another one who was loved. That was after Swaggart and them time, right? But all the elders used to sit down and watch Benny Hinn preach and all them thing. And no, Benny Hinn come to Trinidad a year, and Benny Hinn says the most among the demon he ever see in one place in his life. Where they hate Benny Hinn, yes, they run Benny Hinn out of here so quick. But again, that song had nothing to do with Darryl Smith. Salute to Darryl Smith, and I hope that he behave himself. You know what I mean? Behave yourself, take a little, what you call it? Whatever officer work you get, and ease your way back into the general election as many others before you have done. For instance, Jack is back. Now, I mean, this is an all-rounder episode, right? But it wouldn't be right if I do play a certain song, because I don't understand some of these fellas and them in the politics. And just last week I was saying, you're here in the FBI here helping people and things. Before you try and stay away from the public light, but again, maybe this is his way of defending himself against whatever is to come. Or when them fellas come here asking questions and them want clearance to investigate people here and set up thing, and they have a vetted unit and all these kind of things. Maybe you're looking for, So he decided he go and come out his shell to fight politics. But as again, my old grandmother used to say, when you're telling story, I think like Swaggart and them. So when she hear this this story about Swaggart a woman, and even saying Swaggart used to cry, you know. So when you hear all wrong, they're talking about the crying. Swaggart used to cry when he preaching. He already talk his song and like he cried. Is Creflo Dollar the man name? But when he already crazy, he crying and them kind of thing. But Joel Osteen. Salute to my memory, Joel Osteen. This Swaggart make these fellas, you know. When Swaggart preaching, he crying and them thing, and boy, when he come to confess this thing to the congregation and tell them he's stepping down from being the priest, it's a set of tears and he's sitting and he just all wrong. Let's say he didn't do nothing with the woman, you know what I mean? He used to talk and he used to preach for her and pray for them and thing, and boy, one by one more women started to come out and see what Swaggart was really up to. But I remember when Swaggart come out to this story, my grandma and them like to watch Jimmy Swaggart and them thing. And when I hear how much woman he have, my grandmother, I think she always used to say, why don't keep your old ass quiet? I feel it's Jack Warner she was talking to.
She say all but you playing young. She say weak but you feeling strong. You gotta be my grandfather. The young girl call him mister. She say you're dancing good. Your waistline is good. Clean up your rock. Stop doing that. She said take the vice out your waist, old man. Take it out. Your conduct is out of place, old man. Take it out. And if you feel it, don't whine, old man. Take it out. Don't take it from behind, old man. Take it out. You could jump up if you want, and wave up if you want, and back if you want,
And roll back. Take the vice out your waist, old man.
take it out.
You are ready for this space, old man.
Old man, watch yourself.
Old man.
Old man, catch yourself. Old man.
So Jack is back with UNC to join Kamala and Gary on political stage Monday. 80-year-old Jack. Just keep quiet. You go and slap your foot and see if you could, you know what I mean, cock up your foot and take your medication. Let Johnny King talk to you.
So when you're looking for young women,
Jack, do what you gotta do.
just think about your grandchildren. You could come out online, have a good time, but respect your age. Tell you Tony Page, she said,
Take the vice out your ways. They say the embattled founder of the ILP party, Jack Warner, is now officially back on the political scene with the UNC. Less than a month before local government elections. It is unclear in what capacity. Warner's return was inadvertently leaked by UNC councillor Adrian Ali on Friday after he shared a photo of former FIFA vice president standing next to St. Augustine MP Khadija Amin. Guardian Media contacted Warner and Amin and Kirk May, who is the public relations officer, and everybody tight-lipped. They said, we go see Monday during the meeting what it is exactly he come to do. Now, just like I saying about Darryl Smith, right? All you have to remember that Warner get ousted, he and Kamala fall out. Kamala say Warner a smart man. Warner say Kamala this and that. And Warner say he go expose she in the sunshine.
stop talking and fooling wrong.
Hey Jack,
Papa, it's
time to hang up your guns. I think Johnny was talking to you.
So you
A little bit of energy. Yeah, you.
You gotta save that for Granny. Your dirty old wine will hurt your spine. Young girls in bed.
They go kill you dead. I say, take the vice out your waist, Warner. So yeah, two of them fall out and they had this big public thing, and Jack basically promised to bring down the woman at some point in time, and he said if you don't put him at 2015, he gonna make sure she out the party, and he ain't care, and he make a LP and make it green and run against the yellow, you know what I mean, like lime and lemon, and now they're coming back together, and here the trio, Gary Griffith, Kamala, and Jack. No, I think at this point, under all the old talk, when three of them come back together for local government election, which typically has a low turnout and people don't take as seriously as the general election, you had to tell yourself that there is a threat to the PNM, right? Or a threat to the ruling party or any ruling party, because and maybe I judging this wrong as well. You tell me, how much political currency you feel Jack Warner still have? I mean, he's been away from it for some years. Well, he went through the situation with FIFA. The party had to distance themselves from him, and everybody in the party distanced themselves from him to the point where he formed his own party. He went down in the extradition. FIFA, they make Netflix series talking about this whole situation and thing. And it never looked good for Jack Warner. So I don't know if it's enough time he lay low. So he decided that it's time. He quoted here in news there saying, on Monday, I intend to tell the country why I've come back into politics. So he definitely back in the mix, and he coming back into politics. Regardless, they ask him, they say, he expected many people had questions about his return given ongoing legal challenges and political fallout with Kamla Persad-Bissessar when he left the UNC in 2013 to form his own ILP. Warner said, in spite of all that, I'm coming forward. No, he didn't say he coming back, you know. You had to understand Jack and his language, you know. At a PNM meeting in Shoguana's party chairman Stuart Young reminded the population that Warner is still facing extradition to the United States for corruption charges relating to when he was FIFA vice president. Young declared, I am offering Jack Warner a first-class ticket to Miami, waiting for him if he wants to go. So... The election, we in the heat of it. We are a couple of weeks away from it at this point. We are we just about a month, no, less than a month out. So the battles picking up, and the thing getting serious. And to tell you the truth, I don't really care. I really just come back here to play all wrong dancing because people say they wanted to hear all wrong. So I wish Jack the best. I am eager to hear what happens on Monday because I like to hear how people justify the things that they do and what they could find to say all the different reasons and the forgiveness that will come. And he like to hold Kamala hand. I just want to see him hold Kamala hand and walk on stage. Jack Warner, 80 years old. I hope Jack Warner watching how Biden falling down all about and all these things. But anyway, talking about old boys, let me play my old boy partner all wrong there. This is one of the later hits.
I love this wine. I want it all the time. Please give me any time.
Wine on sale for male and female. No wine in bottle, no wine in jar. This wine is trouble. Go down all round there. Just taste me wine. You want all the time. You want the body wine? Take the body wine. You want the back wine? Take the back wine. You want the front wine? Take the front wine. You want the leg wine? Take the leg wine. You want the neck wine? Take the neck wine. This is the wine that will make your body wine. This is the wine. This is the wine that will make your body wine. This is the wine. This is the wine that will make your body wine. This is the wine. This is the wine that will make your body wine. This is the wine.
I love this wine. I want it all the time. Please give me any time. I love this wine. I want it all the time. Please give me any time.
In my factory, wine is healthy. It really stress. It is the best. Come anytime, you must get wine. Don't ask me why, you can't get high. You want the body wine? Take the body wine. You want the back wine? Take the back wine. You want the front wine? Take the front wine. You want the leg wine? Take the leg wine. You want the neck wine? Take the neck wine. This is the wine that will make your body wine. This is the wine. This is the wine that will make your body wine. This is the wine. This is the wine that will make your body wine. This is the wine. This is the wine that will make your body wine. This is the wine.
I love this wine. I want it all the time. If you like All Rounder, right, I want you to go on YouTube and look up Blaze and JW All Rounder, right? And you'll listen to that interview. When he had this song, and he was going back up. As a resurgence for him at that point in his career, right? Where the youths of that day get to know All Rounder now, because that was a hit in the carnival. And you need to see how All Rounder was performing. He gave himself one of them comb over mohawk blonde. And he and his daughters there with him. But you had to see him, you had to hear him with Blaze and JW in studio doing an interview about getting through to the Soca Monarch final at that point in time. I think it was the Groovy at that point. He get into the Groovy final. All right, just a couple more things and we done. Griffith, no stopping the UNC or NTA alliance now, right? So this was before Jack announced his comeback. So the National Transformation Alliance, that's what I mean? Political leader Gary Griffith said that the NTA and the opposition UNC are on a roll towards victory in the local government elections on August 14th. In a statement on Saturday, Griffith said NTA and UNC supporters are united at the polls. United at the polls on August 14th, and there's nothing that could be done to stop it. I'm laughing because I'm trying to figure out what's Gary's contribution to this. Gary feel like he have NTA supporters that his votes convert into UNC. He claimed the fear this is generating in the PNM is evident from an audio recording that was played at a PNM public meeting in Chaguanas on Friday. I missed that. Griffith confirmed that one of the voices in the recording was his. In the clip, Griffith was criticizing opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar for her work hours as Prime Minister. In the former UNC-led People's Partnership Coalition, Griffith served as National Security Advisor to Persad-Bissessar and later as National Security Minister. He says it's an 8-year-old recording which was done after both Jack and myself left the UNC. I seem to remember this. When two of them leave, that was partnering when they just get ousted. Griffith said it is a clear indication to citizens that the PNM sphere is massive, as they know once the true opposition forces unite, they stand little chance of political survival. He also claimed this audio clip is generating interest with another party contesting elections. Who's that? Griffith described this entity as PNM's Orange B team. Who's that? Who are you talking about? Philip. He insisted that the Prime Minister was lazier than Kamla Persad-Bissessar because Dr. Rowley is one who is on a golf course 4 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Griffith said all people know that a vote against the NTA or UNC alliance is a vote to keep Rowley in office. That's the rhetoric. You had to love Trinidad. You had to love the way they put these things together. Because it's not about what policies you doing for me. And I don't like to say this too much, right? Because sometimes it seems as though these campaigns bereft of policy or discussion about what will make the country better, and they always come down to hate the PNM or hate the UNC or hate the NTA or the PDA. Is always do free. Boy, listen, them people wicked and empty the treasury, they change procurement, they go and spend all the money, we go and suffer like dog, all the grandchildren go eat dirt in this country. That is what is used to campaign. But in fairness to them, it's probably just we who like it so, because I think it's not so much that is all they talk about. It's just that those are the things that make the news cycle and the podcast and the internet, the social media side of it, is when they bad talk one another. That is the things that rise to the top. We don't hear much about policy, because I can't tell you that I hear a whole lot about policy for either UNC or PNM or any of the other parties, like what they're planning to do where local government is concerned. But at least between now and local government elections, I will be looking at on TV or attending or watching on social media all political rallies and parties. You hear like?
Punchy
dressing she burger. Put the garlic sauce, spread it on she burger. Put the garlic sauce, spread it on she burger. Put the garlic sauce, spread it on she burger. Put the garlic sauce, spread it on she burger. Where you want it? Here? There? Here?
Round the right here, right here.
Put the garlic sauce, spread it on she burger. Put the garlic sauce, spread it on she burger.
Garlic sauce.
All round I use a pour, spread it. Spread it.
So my debt is paid. That's settled. Matter settled. All wrongers, you ask for wrongers, you get wrongers, right? And as I tell you, all wrongers, a man, if you know being introduced to him and you ain't really know these songs and things, you had to see these things performed. All wronger wasn't as much of a recording artist as he's a performing artist. So you might hear some of these songs and like I don't like to hear these music so much with the artificial music behind it. It's song like I said, a synthesizer playing music, but I guarantee you, any one of these songs you hear, go and watch him perform it and you will see something different. You might fall in love with that kind of music. Salute to all around there. So listen, Lost Tribe. Lost Tribe was on the Avenue on Friday night, launching the band for next year, right? So in a statement, the 2023 Large Band of the Year winner said it will reveal all its costumes at the end of Sunset Theatre, a theatrical and cultural street parade that marks the start of the Sunset Weekend, the Tribe's group's launch of Carnival 2024. Now, I was asking last week, right, about band launching. Because band launching starting to get earlier and earlier. I don't used to have a problem where the carnival don't allow you to celebrate Christmas in peace, right? As a man who like my Christmas and my praying music and them kind of thing, you don't ever get the opportunity to say, well, you enjoy a full Christmas. By the time Boxing Day reach, all soca parang and them thing done. Salute to 100, who is give us 100 days of parang, so at least we could of Christmas, so we could enjoy the music, whether it's Christmas carol, parang, soca parang, whatsoever the thing might be. They keep us in the spirit for the time, but they're pushing back the band launching and thing now. We reached the point where band launching in July. And we saw Yuma launch maybe even 2 weeks ago. Is this the norm? I feel like this used to be end of August. So what are they gonna when we had to pay deposit? When we had to pay deposit and thing, that coming up now? Because sure they're trying to push the deposit date before September, before them book something at a buy for new school and uniform, and they had to spend at 3,000 if they go in Ashton and so on. So Tribe had their band launching, but unfortunately on Friday, a report was sent out by Carissa Lee and all over social media. Permission has been revoked for Tribe Carnival to block off parts of Arapita Avenue to host its Sunset Theatre event, which officials of the mass band say will take place on this evening. Senior Superintendent of Port of Spain Division Lincoln Daly told Guardian Media on Thursday that the permission originally granted was an administrative error. According to the director of the band, Kendall Latchman, the authorization was given, and the band and other officials even hosted a town hall with Woodbrook residents. We got together with all the stakeholders that were involved in this area, in this Woodbrook vicinity, and that would be the mayor's office, Port of Spain mayor's office, the corporation, including the transport commissioner as well as the police commissioner, all who would have granted the permissions. But apparently it's an administrative error. There's a hell of a big administrative error. Sorry about that. We signed the wrong form. Guardian Media obtained a copy of the permission order stamped on July 19th with the TNT Police Services header and a logo that allowed Tribe to block the roadway between Anna and Carlos Street and Arapita Avenue. And this was to be from 5 to 11 p.m. The permission has since been rescinded. Guardian Media was told that concerns were raised about the lawfulness of the band's traffic plan that was posted to social media. Residents were not happy about the access passes required. I guess access passes, they had to get passes if you're going to your home or coming into the event, or you had to access the event to get from or to your house. Latchman said that the idea actually came from the residents during the town hall. However, he added that it would not have affected anyone trying to access the avenue. The TTPS informed us that this would not be hard and it wouldn't be a hard and fast blockage. This would really be about safety, so they will allow traffic to pass once it's safe to do so. Creative Director Valmiki Maraj, whose name I'll pronounce right at some point, said despite the revocation of permission, the show will go on, but the format will be reworked. I like this, I like this. I mean, it really happened last minute. I was a little surprised Friday when I read this, like, on the day of the thing, they're saying that his administrative error is revoked. And they're saying in one hand it's administrative error, but then they're saying in the next hand, the residents kick up, so they didn't want to, it didn't seem very clear. And as somebody who organizing an event, that could be a nightmare. You know, your money done spent. At that point, when I was reading the article, I thought it meant the event was cancelled. But I didn't realize that it meant it was just going to be confined to the square. Was that Adam Smith Square? One of them square, up by Murray Street. That's Murray Street? Yeah, the square opposite Republic Bank. You know the square. And they went ahead with it. And from everything I see on social media, it seems to be a success. Tribe know how to do their thing and how to put events together. And they're, especially because it's a Lost Tribe event, I saw a strong emphasis on Old Mass being part of what they do. So I'm not sure if that had something to do. I haven't seen enough reports about it since, but I'm not sure if the band itself is playing into some of the Old Mass characters this year. That would be nice to see. You know, nice it would be to see Lost Tribe have a, because we tend to go abroad for a lot of our concepts for Mass, right? And I'm talking about all the bands, not singling out Lost Tribe. We might find that somebody say Sons of the Sahara or the Serengetis of India, Serengetis in India, or the Great Wall of China. We like to go abroad for our concepts when in fact we have enough history here and enough to be able to create a band. So when you think of all the traditional characters we have between Peregrinade, Midnight Robber, Damn Lorraine, there's so many of them, and so much they have Sailor Mass, it's a man who used to play bat, people playing, you know, so many different elements. And it's not, I mean, I ain't saying that you have to go and I don't find Lost Tribe a little dowdy or, you know, sorry, but I just find there's a lot of cloth. I ain't never reached Lost Tribe level yet. I see Stacey and them trying to tell me, come and play in Lost Tribe. She say Lost Tribe is what she playing. I just want to let all you know too, right, that people come in this house and announce big and bold, here we're going on Friday. You have to see about your child. I'm going in Tribe. I'm going to Tribe brand launch. And the thing, that and new. And there's, I hear the door bus open here about 5 o'clock Friday. I say, what happened to the Tribe? She get like tired. Tired. Take the vice out the ways, old girl. So she it seems as though Lost Tribe is what she heading for next year. And I ain't sure if already yet. Lost Tribe will be, if I'm playing in Lost Tribe, I'm one step away from retirement. And I feel like I'm one step away from retirement now, but I kind of like the idea of a brunch. I don't mind going to a little party, carnival Monday in the day. And the party could be like bars. I don't be in Tong Tong. I could be a little far away from Tong to do the traffic and the walking. And I get old. Yes, my time definitely passed. But it would be nice to see Lost Tribe use our own characters as part of what they build their sections out as. But who knows? You never know if that's what they intend to do. I did see from the little clips that I saw a lot of traditional characters and Sailor Mass. Imagine Lost Tribe do a whole Sailor band. Them could single-handedly bring back Watching Mass, because I always talk about the fact that Watching Mass had to be one of the most boring experiences it have. When you watch Tribe, Humor, Bliss, there's nothing to watch there. Well, but if you're a Lost Tribe, there's a whole lot that you could carry people to see and see real beauty in costumes. And Lost Tribe commands attention on the road more than any of the other bands. So salute to them. I'm glad they get through the launch in some way or form. But what I really want to deal with is this idea that Christmas getting overshadowed by the carnival. And the band launch now getting pushed back. So when we used to take we little Christmas in July, now we can't even take Christmas in July. Because on our Friday night, it's it's fat coming down the road again when they have band launch season. And I'm just seeing more and more dates being announced for band launch season that right in the mix of what would it be the Christmas in July. So in closing off this episode, right, I want to pay off some more debts that are owing, because I was reprimanded in my own house. You know what I mean? As a man is put my foot down in this house, you know. But when I talk here, no dog bark in this house. You know? But I was reprimanded because I had 2 whole Scrunter episodes and didn't play no soca parang. No, I didn't plan to, because I tell myself, well, what I want to do, the mission was to introduce people to more than just the soca parang. Because I noticed when you pull up Scrunter on YouTube now, all you see is soca parang. And I was like, hey, I don't know if people know how great and how much of a giant this man was in terms of his songs and what he's done in the art form. But as I say, when I talk here, no dog bark. And if I say I'm playing soca only, it's soca only. I put my foot down. But out of fear, right? And the fact that I don't like the band launch, I wonder when just now is Easter weekend is band launching on. Them people will ask for the money. As soon as you're done playing mass, you gotta pay down for your next costume. This thing getting pushed back further and further. So now we gotta make our Christmas in about March to get rid of it. But I want to play a few of our favorite Scrunter soca parang to close off Christmas in July. some song designed for rum.
If you don't have it in stew, a piece of will do. You could put it in pastel, I eat in it as well. I reach in Toronto, go a pass through Mexico. Don't care wherever I go, one thing I want you know, I want a piece of pork.
Hey, well, that stopped for itself. That wasn't my doing. That stopped for itself, so we're leaving that so. But I want to give you one where, as I say, piece of pork designed for rum, right? But that's something where when you play, especially when you're playing music by people, right? It has some song that when you start to play them, you ain't bound to too much sing. One of the things with playing music in Christmas time, like house to house and thing, right? Is that when you see is you alone singing, is a struggle, you know? But you see this song, you're bound to get some kind of chorus.
Yeah.
Even if it's the pom 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 alone, they know. I just wanted to know too that none of them songs we're listening to is not the original version of that. I will save some of the originals for Christmas time if Carnival and take it over. But this was an album that was remade and remasters of all these songs. But all these songs, the original, Scrunter a genius, you know, because all these songs was done bad already. And he take them and he put them on a remake, remastered album so they song more up to date. And these versions of this song last forever. One of my favorites is this one here. I'm recording before I go. This is my favorite one of all time that I leave in Hollywood. Listen, we go pick up next week. Next week, yeah. By the time you're hearing this, we go pick up next week. And all the other culture on the back and all that I missed, be sure you could bet your life that I go pick it up next week by leaving Hollywood. This one by Scrunter. Hear this one. I tell you, I run in my house and nobody can tell me what to do with. But if they ask nice.
Wagwani friends from Tobago, Christmas they reaching Fat Meadow, with a box piece and a quattro, a violin and a banjo. They say they always had a plan to give me family a parang. They wake up my mommy right away when they ring out with this love way. My Jeffrey, oh, get up. Hey, like you are here the neighbor cock crowing, oh girl. Madam Jeffrey, oh, get up. Time to put on smoke in the kitchen, oh girl. Madam Jeffrey, oh, wait up. I hope you know it's white oak a drinking, oh girl. Madam Jeffrey, oh, get up. Yeah. Mommy put coffee on the fire, encouraging them to stay a little longer. Ham and bread on the table. Why don't she pull out a bottle? The music went in my neighborhood. He pulled the old sax below his bed. Come across and join the bacchanal. They wouldn't stop singing at all. My Jeffrey, oh, get up. Hey, you were here the neighbor cock crowing, oh girl. Madam Jeffrey, oh, get up, get up, get up.
This is Caribbean Vibes.
My Jeffrey, oh, wake up. Time to put some smoke in your kitchen, oh girl. Madam Jeffrey, oh, wake up. I hope you know it white oak we taking, oh girl.
It's just a little sample, eh? It's just a little sample. So enjoy a little Christmas in July. I never hear parang song sweet so. And them boy from Tobago, they getting down with heel and toe. I don't know where the noon come from. He fall in without any question. He pick up the pan, me boil the ham, and right away he start to jam.